guys, I'm Jade from Frozen Crown. A couple of months ago, we introduced the option to subscribe to our channel to have some perks and benefits based on your subscription level. One of these perks is having a coffee with me. Join our channel to the Tyrant level if you want to have a coffee with me as well. Here we are.
Okay, so we're recording.
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm very happy to see you.
Same here, to see you again, because I remember you.
Yay! I didn't know if you were gonna remember me. I'm happy you remember me.
No, I remember you. It was on the first gigs. It was around my birthday.
Yes.
And if
it
I
was
remember,
on your birthday.
Yes, and if I remember well, you also brought something very interesting to me and very good.
Yes, I have to.
No, it's amazing that I have the chance to say to you, thank you very much, because, you know, I really appreciate those amazing chocolates you brought to me. Nice. Very, how can I say? I love chocolate, and those were something out of this planet. So thank you very, very much.
My pleasure. I actually didn't know it was gonna be your birthday until pretty close to when the tour started, and I think you put a post about it or something, and when you put that, then I was like, okay, we're doing something. We gotta do something, because it was like on that day, the day I was going, and it's like, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I hope you had a great birthday.
Yes. I had, it was very nice because of, I received so much love, and also 3 cakes.
3?
One the day before, one during the afternoon in the venue, and one from all our team from my band and the other bands on stage. So, you know, it was... my God, I came home with, I think, at least 5 kilos more compared to when I left.
Wow. Yeah. But it's good times, so it's worth it.
Oh, yes. No, everything went perfectly smooth and well during this tour, because, you know, we had a great satisfactions with the venue and with the audience and with all of you friends from everywhere, because you have been so lovely, so giving us your love. And in this special moment, for me, was very important because of my, you know, health problems. I will talk about this in the future, but now it's under control. It's something that I have to bring on forever, but it's something that nowadays it's well managed by medicines, so medications. And you know, the tour has been amazing. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all our crew and to Lutaro and Fellowship, because, you know, I really hope to have another experience like that. But let me ask you, what was your how can I say, reaction to the concert you attended? What did you think about the tour?
I was bromancing with Nizo the whole show. Because I love drums. I'm obsessed with drums, and they're always the first thing that gets in my head from a song, unless it has like a very catchy hook in the chorus or something like that just stays in my head. But I'm like, I've watched a lot of drum playthroughs. When I hear drums, I can tell just from hearing them, where's the kick drum, where's the toms, where's the snare. I hear all these things. So I was just air drumming along with him and looking at him, and bro was changing it around, and I don't know if he was doing it to make fun of me or just, but it was great. It was brilliant.
Yes.
But the whole show was phenomenal.
Thank you very much. You know, Nizo, it's how can I say, he's an artist. He loves jazz, he loves studying drums and whatever that comes around it. And you know, it's not something new to me that he changes parts compared to the album every time, because, you know, it depends on the evening, how he feels that day.
Yeah, but I think that's great, and it's especially great for me, because whenever I go to a concert, I like to drill the songs in my head, like to really know them before I go to a concert. So what I did before that show is I basically made a playlist of most of your songs that have music videos and what I expected you were going to play live, and just listen to it with lyrics in front of me every evening. for like about a month. And I did the same with Lutaro's playlist.
Yes, yes, yes.
So then I just know the songs really well, and it's a bit of a shocker for me and the surprise when something changes. If it's a song
Yes.
I don't know, then it's not gonna hit me that much. But I've seen a few drummers do this before where they just change it live, and it's always the drummers that have the most fun playing.
Yes. Yes, of course. I don't know if we all, in the end, are used to this because it's not something that really affects my listening when we play live. So somehow I'm used to Nizo doing something different compared to the album.
Yeah,
But I'm happy that you noticed and that it was somehow an enrichment. How can I say?
yeah, totally. Well, I would assume as long as he keeps the tempo and does the transitions at the same time and everything, then it doesn't distract you much, even if they're different.
Yes.
The moment that really hit me, and I think this was probably my favorite moment live, was Never Ending. Never
Yes.
Ending is actually not my favorite song, but
Oh, later we will discuss about this, please.
okay. When I say it's not my favorite song, I don't mean I don't like it. I just mean there are other songs I like more.
And that's what I want to know, but
yeah, no, it's great. It's a great song. But I like what he did in the chorus. I remember this very vividly. That you have, okay, I'm trying to remember the chorus. When it goes, as this tragedy seems to
yes,
be
yes.
there on the studio, you get the snare like this.
Yes.
And when that comes in live, he just kind of does a transition before it and then drops into something like a headbang, like halftime sort of thing. And that's exactly what I need more in power metal.
Yes.
Because power metal does this fast pace all the time. That's what it does. Yes. And I like that, but I also like some variations. And when he brings that was such a great way to mix it up live. I'm like, I want a re-recorded version where he does that.
Okay. No, because it's important to put the right accents in the song to emphasize, the moments. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. I know that the power metal frequently is like that, but having this kind of ideas make sense in more than frequently. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to ask you which are your favorite songs, not because never ending has to be, but I'm really curious to know you and to maybe imagine something of your personality by your favorite songs.
Okay, so I definitely have to say Ice Dragon.
Yes.
Because it is a religious belief of mine that if you add a blast beat to a song, it gets better. And that's the only Frozen Crown song I've heard so far that has a blast beat. I still haven't listened to the entire discography, and there are reasons for that. I'll get into that.
Okay.
But it has to be that and Call of the North and probably Edge of Reality.
Oh, yes. Yes. I also love, I agree because I like those kind of songs that are like Call of the North, Edge of Reality, the Shield Maiden. They are very fast, aggressive. They are melodic, but not too much. How can I say? It's that aggressive side that I love. So I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I like them all for different reasons. Like
Yes.
Ice Dragon is very
Emotional.
It's very emotional. It's the most emotional. It has this, I don't know how to describe it, because with how it flows in the chorus, sort of, I would almost describe it as a sea shanty, but it's not a sea shanty because it's not sea themed. It doesn't have that pirate aesthetic or anything, but it has that sort of storytelling, that narration to it kind of thing. And also because I know you use Game of Thrones a lot for inspiration.
Yes.
As soon as I heard the title, I just thought of the dragon that the Night King shoots down and then revives as an ice dragon. Yeah. I don't know if that's what you wrote it about, but the first verse actually fits for that story.
No, it's nice that you have this, how can I say, intuition. that's not the reason, but it's we wrote this song. We had a fan that became a fan, whose name was Robert, and then unfortunately he's no more here with us. And it's somehow this song talks about his story, what we knew about him, because as I told you, we became friends, and he was also in love with the Ice Dragon clothing designs that we made, the t-shirts and the sweaters. So it's more personal, but I'm really happy to know that gives this kind of Imaginarium also about the Game of Thrones last season. Yes.
Yeah, I love that you use the word Imaginarium, because for me the Nightwish Imaginarium album is essentially the icon of like musical storytelling and fantasy building and that kind of stuff, just with giving you images in your head.
Yes. No, but it's
whenever say
Sorry.
what you were saying.
No. I would say I
Okay.
agree. It's important.
Yeah, whenever I get music that like gives me this sort of fantasy imagery, I relate it to that album. So
Yes.
because it's the first album I ever heard that did that for me.
No, I agree. I agree. And what I think is that, when you write a song, you always want to share a message, but I always want to also be wide in the meaning. How can I say? So one can, by reading or listening to the song, also see a message for themselves. If you are too specific by telling a specific story, as it happens for example, in The Water Dancer, it's a song that it's inspired by Arya Stark. It's clear.
Yeah.
Okay, there is the message that you have to be strong, that you have to fight for yourself to improve and become a better person, pursue your ideas and stuff. Okay, but in some other songs our motivational themes are more open, because we really want people to feel the positive message we want to give, that can be adapted to almost everyone's life. So the biggest part of the songs written by us, it's with that in mind. So help people through difficulties, the everyday difficulties we have to face, but without being so specific, because everyone can read it in his mind, and it makes people come closer, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love that. And I've heard music that takes very different takes on that. I've heard music that just gives you spoon-fed stories where there's no doubt about what it is. I've heard music where the lyrics are so abstract that even you can't tell what they even mean to you. And then I think the ones that are my favorite are when you can tell that there's a specific story, but you can also decide what it means for you, because then it's something you can observe and just like for what it is, and then you can also kind of make it your own.
Yes.
So it's kind of a double experience in there, and you have that happening in a lot of the songs, so it's really cool.
Yes, also because if there is a sentence that doesn't fit perfectly to your situation, maybe can help you to see things in another point of view. How can I say? This happened to me during my life with soil work, for example. Maybe the song was talking about something else, but maybe this sentence could fit in this way and help me to see things in a different point of view in that situation.
Yeah,
things happen in the strangest ways.
Yeah, and there's something about that, about getting that different perspective while you're listening to a song that you like, that makes you more likely to be open to it than if someone would just tell it to you, especially for me, because I'm the type that's stubborn and like this, and like I want to do it my way.
Yes. I agree with this.
I mean, I think a lot of us are like this.
Yes.
Okay, I had some stuff on my mind that I wanted to ask you, and now I got distracted.
Oh, no worries.
It happens to me all the time. It's fine. Yeah, I wanted to tell you about the meet and greet that you actually did at the show. That was the best meet and greet I've ever been at, in terms of
really
how it was organized and how. Yeah.
I'm really happy because we tried to do our best to do something special and something different. And we really thought thoroughly about it because, you know, this idea of the coffee and stuff was something new. And I'm very happy you have been happy. So tell me. Sorry.
You said coffee, so I had to coffee.
Yes,
I did have my coffee ready because it is a coffee with Jade, so I take that
yes,
seriously.
it is. It is. No, I'm
Yeah.
drinking water now, maybe coffee later.
Okay, fair. Everything you drink counts as coffee.
Yes, yes, that's the point of coffee with Jade.
Okay, so I've been to a few meet and greets before, and it's either if it's like a lot of people or a bigger band, then it's gonna be everything's very predetermined, very set up, and you're staying in a queue, and then you go there and you get to have a few signed stuff,
Yes.
and then okay, next.
Yes.
So that's usually a bit frustrating. I get it why it happens, because if you're a huge band and you have like 50 people come to your meet and greet, you can't give each of them a lot of time. So I get it, but there's that one. And then there's the ones that are more like informal and more chaos, sort of like if I've gone to smaller bands and there's the band and like 5 people there and we're just sitting around and talking.
Yes.
But then we're just sitting around and talking. And for a lot of time, I used to be a bit more shy. I'm getting better with that. So I'd always feel like I have to make my way in the conversation.
Yes.
And you guys kind of did it best of both worlds.
Wow.
Because we were cute, and then we would go, each of us has our turn, but when we have our turn, we get to just hang and talk to the whole band. And we have some time, and it's really, really fun. And then after all of that is done, we also have a bit of chaos going on and a bit of proper Italian energy.
Now, you know what? I really, how can I say? It's not good for me when I see people that go to meet and greet. So the band is sitting and the person is on the back for the picture. It's awful in my opinion. So please, at least everyone standing and hugging. So it's horrible behind the table. I know that we are going on and we are growing, and there will be a point that will be difficult for us to have that kind of atmosphere that you are telling me. So have some minutes for everyone, share the coffee all together and stuff. But you know, it's the only way I would do this, because going like next, if I don't know. I've always loved to talk with fans and friends and everyone, being on the at the merch booth after the show. Now it's something that I have to avoid because I don't have to catch too many colds. You know, it's like that. Seeing maybe 50 people every night could be too much. But you know, I'm sorry that by the growth of the band, you are it's unattainable to lose contact with people, and it's something that I'm very sorry of, you know.
Yeah, I get that. It's a bit of a bittersweet thing where you get one thing but lose another, because band's growing and that's great. And also for me as a fan, it's like there's nothing I can want for one of my favorite bands more than to see them grow and get big. But at the same time, that sort of close contact that a small underground band has to their hardcore fans when they're just starting and no one knows about them, that kind of dies out.
Yes, you know, when you see familiar faces, for example, we knew a couple of guys from the last tour, and during this tour they attended at least 5 shows, but because they fell in love with us in November, you know, I recognize them because I had a chance to talk to them, or to you. You now are one of the faces I know, closest faces of the yes. And maybe there will be a time where you will attend the show and I won't be able to say hello. You know, it's nice to me to go through the people and say, hey, hello, how are you doing? How was work? Whatever, you know. We will see. For now, we do everything we can to keep the contact.
Okay. I wanted to tell you a thing, and I swear I'm not doing this as a matter of self-promotion.
Okay.
But I have a YouTube with my brother. We do reactions. And by the way, if you ever see me somewhere and I act like I don't know who you are, it's because you're seeing my twin brother.
Okay, perfect.
Just letting you know, because it happened before. Like, people would go talk to him and he wouldn't know who they are, and then they'd come to me later and, you were so rude, why wouldn't you talk to me? Took us a while to realize what was going on. But yeah, I have a reaction channel with him, and we never reacted to Frozen Crown.
Okay.
None of us are huge power metal fans necessarily, which is also why I didn't exactly plan it. And when I started getting to the band, it was this like slow burn, pretty much since you put out Winterbane, where I was like, first I'm kind of indifferent to it, then it's a bit of a guilty pleasure because I don't feel like I should like power metal, then I like it a bit more, then Call of the North comes out and it's like, okay, now I get it, and sort of just getting to that. And by the time you put out War Hearts, I was like, I don't care what genre it is, this is just brilliant music. So
thank you for this position.
Yeah, so that's why we never did a video on you guys, but I was thinking of doing one.
Yes.
And I thought it would be cool if the first Frozen Crown song we react to would be something you suggest.
Oh, Dio.
Okay, so
yes,
if you want to do something that none of us has heard, I've already heard the entire War Hearts album and most of the stuff that has music videos.
Yes.
But we can also just go for something that he hasn't heard, and then you just have to avoid Never-Ending, Call of the North, and War Hearts.
Okay,
Those
perfect. So let me think about it's something that should be representative, but you know, not something that can embarrass you, because you told me that power metal is so of course I will stick to some aggressive songs. Let me think about it. No videos.
It can be videos if it's one that I've heard, because like we've done that before, where it's a song that one of us has heard and the other one hasn't.
Yes. Because if you all heard all the Call of the North album, right?
All the War Hearts album.
Okay, so Call of the North, maybe you missed, for example, In a Moment. That could be.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one yet.
Yes, so I will write it down later. Okay. That could make sense, because if you want to shock your brother, maybe you can how can I say, you can choose Netherstorm from the Fallen King.
That is such a cool title.
Yes, but you know, it's a one-of-a-kind song somehow. So maybe, you know, In a Moment could fit better. And I'm very curious about your review, really.
we can record both of them and see if we post one or the other or both.
Yes, please. If something else pops up in my mind later, I will write to you at the end in the chat, because it could be very funny.
Yeah. We do try to always put a funny twist on our reactions. We're almost like a comedy reaction channel, and we didn't plan for it to turn out that way. But when we started, we were really awkward and really uncomfortable on camera, and I think we just involuntarily started coping with humor. Yes. And it was self-deprecating humor at first, and then it just became humor, and now we're just having fun, and it's always chaos. Almost nothing is planned. We just have the intro to our videos sort of the same all the time, and then no one knows what's going to happen. Even we don't know what's going to happen.
No, I have to check. Definitely have to check, because it sounds fun.
I mean, if you want, I can send you a video we already have, or you can wait until we do Frozen Crown.
No, I want to see also the older ones.
Okay.
Of course, I will go on your channel and check.
Yay! I'll try to think of what I think is a really good one, and I'll send you that.
Please, yes, I want to laugh. I love to have fun.
Yay! Well, it's the same thing that I liked about your videos. This is actually, there were two selling points for me for why I decided to get the meet and greet, because I basically started calling myself a fan probably early last year.
Yes.
And I still haven't heard the full discography and everything, and I was like, is it maybe a bit awkward to get a meet and greet when I'm like, don't know the band that well yet and all of these things. But there were two selling points. The first one was that we were going to have coffee at the meet and greet.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, we just have to. And the second one was when I saw your New Year's video with the panettone. And all the brilliant and sometimes horrible jokes, and the fact that you basically took 4 minutes out of a 13-minute video bickering about how to do the intro. And I was just like, these people have my energy. I have to meet these people. That's what it's about. Because so many people will go on the internet and filter everything out, and then there you are the Italian way, bickering on camera for 4 minutes, and I'm here for it.
So I guess you have Italian ancestors.
Well, I am from Romania, and the way I like to describe the Romanian way is that we're basically Italians without the passion. So we just bicker.
Okay, so of course we have many things in common, starting from the language, the root, So I think that it's not just a case. There is also something else. It's not just the words and the language.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is some common heritage way back, probably a couple thousand years.
That's it. Now we found the reason for this. How can I say? When one falls in love suddenly, I don't have the word in English now. Heart strike. I don't know.
I don't know what you're looking for.
Yes, no worries. I explained it, so we have it. No, I'm really happy for this, because we always try to make funny videos, to put inside fun things. Also because we are like that, we are guys telling stupid things all the time. You saw us on the meet and greet, so but polite funny things, because we are not that kind of evil people. How can I say? At least during the tour in November, they were dubbing us the happy family. That's why.
Well, that's one of the great things about you, both about the music and about just your energy as people. And this is actually one thing I also wasn't expecting when I found out it was your birthday, and then I did some research and I found out you're 40, and I'm like, okay, let's make something clear. You're not 40. You were born 40 years ago, but you're not 40. No. You're 26 at best.
That's it. To this year, it was my, how can I say, 15th, 25th birthday. That's it.
A lot of people say that. I know this. I don't know if you know this singer, Dutch singer, Diane van Giersbergen. She was in Xandria.
Yes.
And now, something she always says is things like 25 with 13 years of experience, 25 with 14 years of experience, and so on. So I decided that basically when you turn 40, that's not your 40th birthday. That is your 15th promotion celebration.
That's it. But I also want to show you the how can I say, the birthday ticket message that some of my colleagues made for me, because it's funny. And it's about this. Oh, maybe it's not that easy to see. So it's 18 plus 22 years of experience. It's written here.
Yes, I love that.
Yes, and I have to make you notice, the electric guitar down here, the frozen Elsa here, and Thomas Youngblood.
The what?
Thomas Youngblood here.
Okay, this is probably a huge lack of culture moment, but I'm not sure who that is.
Yes, no, they are colleagues, and they put Thomas Youngblood together with them because of the tour, So something crazy happens with
That's
colleagues.
Really fun.
Yes, because I am a dentist, and the strange thing is that everyone at work has taken this my work as a singer very seriously, and they get informations about everything I do. So, you know, seeing, and they make, how can I say, jokes, but they perfectly know everything. So it's fun. It's fun. I have a lot of friends. They are also young, like me. I am one of the oldest in the clinic. So, oh my God.
Nice.
The meeting will end in 10 minutes. I guess we can start another one. Make myself the coffee now. Yeah.
Another quick logistic thing I wanted to clear out. It's not made very clear on the Tyrant tier. Is this coffee with Jade basically happening every month or just once? Like now that I joined?
Just once.
Okay.
Yes. But here we are, you know.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
not just once. No, sorry. Because you subscribed for 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you subscribe, you have everything.
Well, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Sorry.
Yeah, because a lot of subscriptions, Patreon, whatever, things like that, they will have certain perks that are like once when you first join, and then the other perks are like for. And I just wanted to know.
No, sorry, my
okay.
bad. Every month you have everything.
Yay!
Renew.
Nice. Okay, that's great. I wanted to ask you because I had this thought.
Yes.
Of doesn't necessarily have to be the next one. It can just be whenever. But on the channel where I do reactions, every now and then I'll also do like an interview that I put on my channel. And if you would want to do that at some point, maybe also bring Federico. That would be really, really great.
Yes, it would be funny. We can do it definitely. Thank you for your invitation.
Yay.
Great.
Okay,
also,
but I have to go through.
Tell me.
I have to go through the entire discography first and to have at least one reaction out there before that.
Oh, take your time. We are here.
Yeah.
And Federico shouts, remember this.
Yeah, but that's great. You know who Federico reminded me of? The way, not how he plays, but the way he sort of presents himself and carries himself on stage, and he's, you know, tall and proud and just the right amount of arrogant and all of that on stage, and the way he talks too, it reminded me of Franchesco Paoli from Fresh Cut Apocalypse.
Oh, wow. So it's a lot of time I don't see them live, but I will check this out. And definitely, you know, it's one of the most important Italian bands, so it's a compliment. Thank you.
Franchesco is like, if you're gonna think of a musical hero, it's that guy. He does everything. I don't know. I don't know if you heard their last album. That is insane, that album. It's so Italian, it's so dramatic, and it's based on a true story of how he almost died. So it really gets under your skin.
Yes, of course, he had a bad time back in a couple of years ago, if I remember well. And I'm very, how can I say, I can imagine why he wrote about his experience, because it has been a tough experience. And yes, through the years, I was following them, and they developed the sound becoming even more orchestral, how can I say. And I've always loved their style, but now there is that something that I enjoy even more. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how much, like, if it bothers you if I go on a tangent about all sorts of other bands, or if you want to keep this more Frozen Crown focused, because I listen to a lot of music.
No. We are here, it's your coffee, so we can talk about whatever you want. It's your coffee. But, you know, just to say, sometimes I'm not prepared about all the bands, because there are a lot. Usually, lately, I don't have time, so there are some bands that I don't know, I didn't listen to the latest albums, so I'm so sorry. I'm not, you know, so up to date on everything.
I make reaction videos and album reviews. I'm the last person that you'll have to explain to what it's like not to be able to listen to everything, because I keep track of everything, and there are already probably 30 albums released this year that I'm interested in.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I want to go back and listen to older stuff like the whole Frozen Crown discography. And I have a life to live, and I'm trying to edit videos every time I do a reaction. You just
Yes.
can't. So I get it. But it's okay if you don't know something, because that just gives me an opportunity to rant more, because I'm just a little bit arrogant and like hearing myself talk too much.
Perfect. No, and
Cool.
I'm interested in learning new things, learning about new bands and these inspirations, because it can also happen that you meet at a festival or something.
Yeah.
And if I know something more about that band, could be useful, to make connections. So I say thank you in advance, because I have the chance to learn something.
Um, I want to tell you about what you're seeing here.
Yes, tell me.
This is a combination of the two most caffeinated musicians I know. Because
Okay.
the logo is Adrien Cowan, which is the singer of
Yes.
a band called Seven Spires. I
And
don't know
we
if you
played together in
we played with Spires.
not them, because she was singing with the Sasha Paeth project in Rocking
Yes.
Time 1 year ago. Yes, we met there.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So
this is her mug.
it's her merch, and her Discord is basically called The Coffee Cult, and she's as much of a coffee addict as anyone I've ever seen. So I thought it would be appropriate to have one caffeinated musician here, and then I don't really have to tell you what the contents are, do I?
Yes, whatever you want. If you want,
It's
tell
not
me.
just coffee. It is a very specific coffee.
Which one?
Come on, get the hint, will ya? It's Frozen Crown coffee.
Yes! Great, great. And I really hope you enjoy it, because, I made a research, and I went 0 kilometers, how do you say, local, because there is this factory, it's very close to where I live, and they work with products coming from Southern America, from even Africa, something, and they make these blends. So I went there, I choose the coffee I wanted for us. It's something that it's really I worked on it, so I hope you enjoy it.
It's really, really great. I was not a very heavy coffee drinker until recently, and
Yes.
I started drinking it just out of necessity, because I like to overwork myself to unhealthy extents. It's not that I like to overwork myself, is that I want to do more things than I'm capable of. So, and I will choose the discomfort over letting some of them go. So yeah, I started drinking coffee to just be able to do more stuff. And yeah, this is some of the best I've had. And I, especially since the meet and greet, I started making a habit of having coffee with honey.
Oh, yes. Because, sometimes we didn't have the chance to have sugar, or we just have vegan milk and not cow milk. So sometimes coffee at the meet and greet has been, not perfectly organized.
Yeah.
I'm happy you like.
But I like it. I think it gives it a very specific taste when you do it with honey. I never thought about it before. And for me now, it's also like, because that's the first time I ever tried that. Now, every time I taste coffee with honey, it takes me back there, which is great.
Yeah. Good. Yes, you have a memory, a strong memory. Also because smell and taste are linked to the oldest parts of our brain. So the memories are stronger compared to sight, for example.
It's the same thing with music.
Yes.
Whenever I listen to an album that I found 5 years ago or 7 years ago or whatever, it takes me back to wherever I was back then.
Yes, definitely. If I listen to some songs I was listening to at university, I see myself on the train in that city I was studying. Oh my God. And you just remember that I am 40.
You're not 40. You're born 40 years ago. Those things are not the same.
That's
You're an elf. You age slower.
Perfect. And you know, it's something I wanted to keep secret in the beginning. I can tell you the story because I declared my birth date, I think 1 year ago, something like that. On the web, there were a lot of wrong dates, wrong
Mhm.
year, wrong day, wrong everything. And one thing that really bothered me was, you know, people asking, how old are you? How old are you? How old are you? Oh my God, I won't tell you. Also, because if you just spend 2 minutes of your time, if you really want to know, go on my Facebook. There
Mhm.
are very old pictures of every birthday. My Facebook is starts in 2008. So
Mhm.
in 2 minutes, you can find how old I am because there is
Mhm.
me with my cake and it's written 25 and it was
Mhm.
15 years ago, for example. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So please do it. That's it. But now finally someone did something, and now also on the metal archives, it's the correct birth
Yeah.
date written.
Mhm. So you never actually decided to make it public yourself. It just eventually happened. Someone
Yes,
decided to do the 2 minutes of research after 15 years of everyone failing to.
that's it. I wanted to see when this would happen because it was under everybody's nose.
I don't I don't understand how people can have such short attention spans. I already grew up addicted to the internet, and I'm still like, when I start hearing people say things like full albums are gonna be gone and everyone just listens to singles now, I'm like, shut up! Give me the album. I want to listen to a full album. It's a
No.
ritual for me. It's essential. How can you not have the attention span for that?
And this is a very sad moment of humanity because you know speaking talking with youngest people it's sometimes it makes me depressed because for example I was listening to XY band,
Mhm.
okay, which song, I don't know, I just open the recommended ones on the you know on the platform, but which album, which year they made 10 albums, I don't know, it was the first. You know, bands sweat blood to compose albums. So you tell yourself you are a metalhead and you just open whatever and choose the first song without taking 1 minute to go deep.
You're being you're being brain fed by the Spotify algorithm instead of doing anything active. And active listening is
My
so
God.
cool for me. It's so cool to read the lyrics, to try to understand what the song is about, to either figure out or make up the story about it, to and especially for full albums, and especially if you listen to prog. Oh my god.
Ooh,
Do not listen to a concept album on shuffle. No.
no. No, but it's crazy. You know, we drop an album 1 week after. When is new album coming out? Please, it's disrespectful. You know.
Yeah, and I think partly people just don't pay attention and they don't know you put an album out. And partly they're just like so always running for the next thing that
Yes,
they don't even take the time to consume the current thing. And I'm like, look at me. I found Frozen Crown 6 months ago, and I still haven't listened to the entire discography. And I'll have the same thing with my reaction videos. If there's like things going on in my life, and like for 2 weeks
yes.
after a video didn't come out, I didn't put a reaction yet. And people are like, how can you call yourself a fan? You went 2 weeks and you were able to go 2 weeks with resisting listen to this song, then you're not a fan. I'm like, it's called self-control. Because
No,
sometimes it's painful to go 2 weeks without listening to a new
I
song
know.
from a band you love. But it's for the band because I want to make a video for them that they will like or that will
Yes.
help promote them or something like that. And the other thing that I will often do is because I'm not listening to the album, to the song when it just came out, then I'm not sort of boosting them in the algorithm. So what I'll do is I'll go to the video and
Yes.
hit it and turn it mute and put my phone away and just let
Ah,
it run. So if I can't react to it, just so like the algorithm
yes.
knows that I am excited about this band, that I would jump on it if I wasn't
Yes.
doing my own YouTube.
No, I agree. I sometimes do this. I do the same. Yes, because if I am on random listen, because I really enjoy, you know, the recommended metal playlists because it's the mean for me to listen to new bands or to new songs of bands I already know. And if there is something wrong, I skip. No, this doesn't belong to my algorithm because sometimes happens. And if it's something I don't want to listen to now, but I don't want them to take it away from my algorithm, I do mostly the same. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I really appreciate your way of thinking because you say, I didn't listen to your whole discography, but I love what I listened to so far, and I will go through with the time that I need to, that I want to. It's more respectful, this is a fan, not someone, which song did you listen to? I don't know. As I told you before.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your mind.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, that means a lot to me. I don't necessarily have a problem with people who just listen to things casually and don't know what they listen to because not everyone's passionate about music, but don't pretend you are. If that's how you listen to.
No, I'm not talking about, my schoolmate that now works in a clothing shop. How can I say? I'm talking about musicians. Especially younger ones. Nowadays, it's a problem. They want, I want to do like you. How is it to have a band, do things and whatever? First of all, you really have to love music. You have to go deeper. How can you imagine to do something, to write songs and to make your way without having the attention to understand something more about some other bands?
Yeah.
That's strange. And nowadays everything is strange.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And for me, it would almost be frustrating for me to do things that way. Like I don't do this active listening thing and all of this because the band deserves it or whatever. I mean, I do it because of that, but I also do it just because that's how I like it. I don't understand how you can just run through things like that at hyper speed and have that be the way you prefer things. It's just exhausting.
Yes. No, but it doesn't give you anything. So it's like watching movies twice the speed. It's you don't watch it if you are not going to dive into it, I think.
Yeah. So I wanna ask you, what's your musical background? What do you listen to the most? Favorite bands, things in metal, maybe things outside of metal?
Yes.
Has it always been the same or did it change over time?
So first of all, I started with Metallica when I was, I think, 12, 13, because there was...
It was faster.
Yes.
I started with Metallica at 11.
Oh my God. But it was, still MTV days, it was existing. So it was just a Reload album out. So I listened to The Unforgiven 2, Memory Remains, Fuel, and oh my God, this is something really heavy I want to listen to. I was fond of Spice Girls and Backstreet Boys,
Yeah.
And yes. And then I went to the... How can I say? There were still paper magazines back in the days. I remember I bought a Metal Hammer because there was Metallica on the cover. And I started discovering other bands and, saving money to buy cassettes because they were cheaper than CDs. And later I knew some older guys, brothers or sisters from my friends that had cassettes and they passed me things. And I went to learn guitar. So from Metallica, I went directly to power metal because I think the first album I had was El Dorado from Wasp, the first CD. The second was Hammerfalls, one, Legacy of Kings. And then I totally fell in love with power metal. I went through Blind Guardian, Halloween, Stratovarius, Gamma Ray, and I've always went on with that until I discovered the female-fronted metal like Nightwish, Epic, and stuff. And I've always loved to sing. And I wanted to sing like a girl after I sang like a man for all the previous years. But this remained, I think, in my style. Because, you know, I'm not singing classical, operatic, or whatever. I still stick to my roots.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I went on. I also loved some melodeath, you know, like Dark Tranquility and okay, Soilwork. It's not just similar, but you know, a lot of Swedish bands and In Flames, and then also some stuff like Cradle of Filth, Nagelfar, I remember I love very much, Mercenaries, so something different from here and there, a little bit more heavy, maybe. Yes, and that's what made me me.
I feel like most of those are very traditional metal styles. Like it's not the more modern metalcore, deathcore things that are showing up nowadays.
No, definitely not.
I'm curious, what's your take on this? If you want to edit this, I haven't decided yet if I want this posted on YouTube, but whatever.
No problem.
If you want to edit this part out because it might trigger people, that's fine. But what's your take on the whole debate about whether metalcore and deathcore is actually metal?
Oh, so since I never enjoyed very much that genres, I'm not ready, I'm not prepared to answer. I didn't listen to it enough, but it's definitely something I don't like. Both, you know. Maybe something could be nice to listen, but that core stuff, it's something too much for me. I'm more traditional, as you told me. So since I didn't study metal through the years, I'm not ready to give a smart answer to this question.
Okay, can I give you my take on it?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I found Gent when I was 16, and it was the first time that I was noticing odd time patterns.
Okay.
It wasn't the first time I was hearing them, as I've gotten to realize later, but it was the first time I was noticing them, because they're made very obvious in gent and in like math metal and things like this.
Yes.
So I got obsessed with that, and it became my thing with music. And probably between the ages of like 16 and like 21 or 22, I was so like this with wanting progressive and odd time patterns and things like that, that I would like not listen, not intentionally, but I would not listen that much to things that are 4/4 or that are easy or catchy, because I was hooked on that.
Yes.
I think that's also probably how my somewhat anti-power metal bias showed up at some point. And it only later I've come to realize, after I've talked to some people that actually make music, that wait, thrash metal and power metal and these things have odd time patterns all over the place. It's just not that obvious, which means it's actually more clever in how it's done. But anyway, I had that obsession with gent, and I think that's what eased me into metalcore, because the sound is very similar. It's electronic and all of those things. But metalcore, composition-wise, if you're going to listen to, I don't know, Spirit Box, it's very similar to pop music. And what I've heard from traditional metalheads, particularly those who have a beef with metalcore, is that it's not metal because how it's written, it's basically pop. It's not written like metal. It has driven guitars and it has screams, but it's not metal in how it's written. And that, I think that's the trigger point that most people disagree on. So for me, it's kind of reduced to, well, how do you define metal? If it just needs to have screams and driven guitar, then metalcore is metal. If it needs to have a specific composition and the specific approach to the lyrics and the emotion that it's trying to transmit, then it's probably not, because it tilts more towards these pop stuff. So that's kind of how I see it. And I can appreciate both styles, but over the last year and a half, especially since I started having a bit of an elitist friend, I'm starting to tilt a lot more towards the traditional genres, just because she makes so much sense with her arguments. And I'm trying to not be biased and actually listen instead of just going, you're an elitist, you just don't like metalcore, so you're beefing with it. Yes. She makes sense in what she's saying. So
no, this is, everything is very interesting. You know what? You mentioned Spirit Box, and now I want to ask, because I didn't get this thing that you say songs are written like pop. What do you mean?
Take what's the song called? I think Jaded, pun not intended, from Spirit Box. The chorus line, I think if you put it side by side to something like the melodic line in the chorus, I think if you put it side by side to something like Beyonce or Taylor Swift, it's very, very, very similar. And then if you take it and put it side by side to Enter Sandman, it's just not the same thing.
Yes.
So it's kind of like that. It has a bit, because it's so electronic and so the production is very pop as well, it has also this somewhat artificial aesthetic.
Yes.
And then they have that a lot in the videos as well, because a lot of the videos are just green screen and so much just effects and things like that. Versus if you look at Call of the North, you guys are out there in the freaking mountains. There's the they are the actual mountains. That's not green screen, right?
They are, yes.
Yeah. No. So it's also this element of something being a lot more raw, real, in your face, versus edited out and or maybe auto-tuned. I mean, I know a lot of traditional metal probably also uses auto-tuned here and there nowadays, but just a lot more of these effects used to artificially make the thing look and sound a specific way that's not so hands-on, I think.
Yes, and when I first listened to them, I was totally, how can I say, it was very strange to me, because I don't know if I know that nowadays for Spotify and the other platforms, they have to prepare the songs in a certain way. So when you listen in the car or in somewhere else, the quality is not good. But so it was strange to me, because they have a lot of high frequencies, and these sounds that are not, they are, how can I say, they make me agitation, very high pitch. I don't know, like Nazgul like sounds.
Nazgul screeches, let's go.
That's it. And going through some songs, I said, okay, this sounds like Lacuna Coil, but with under drugs or hangover or heavy alcoholic. So why? But I really appreciate Lacuna Coil. They have been one of my favorite bands. I forgot to mention a lot of my favorite bands. But Lacuna Coil do it much better, much melodic, much. I'm referring to the songs I listen to. So. I really, it's something, it's not my cup of tea, because it's something I already heard of, but made it worse.
When you say the Nazgul screeches, do you mean the way they do screams in metalcore usually? Like the really high, that kind of stuff?
This, but also the instrumental parts are like, when you enter to a factory and the machines are working. Where is the melody? Why these modern synthesizers? I don't know what the kind of instrument it is, made by computer. This high, and you cannot perceive the melody, and there are different lines, everyone overlap to the other. So it's cacophonic sometimes.
I actually can hear the melody in metalcore, but it is very drowned in effects and production all the time. And I think they use a lot of EDM beats and electronic things and all of this, which again never existed in traditional metal. A lot of the times it also makes the music sound a lot more artificial, because a lot of the times, for example, you'll have an intro. The intro is entirely electronic, like an electronic build up until the riff hits, and then it's the full band. And it's like you didn't play an intro or you didn't play a build up to your song. You just did the electronic thing. I'm not saying there's no value to that. Maybe that electronic thing took a lot to create whenever you programmed it or whatever. But you're not playing it live. So it's not, so it doesn't have that raw, everything is real sort of thing.
Yes, I agree.
I was very much a core kid. I'm starting to shift, and it's really weird for me. I'm one of the younger generation, and I'm starting to act like a boomer.
It's like that, you know. When you go on with your life, it's something you cannot avoid.
I'm starting to get older and starting to understand what all the old people were telling me.
Welcome to my life.
You're not old. You're not old. I will die on this hill.
Yes, please. No, but anyway, you know, that's it. It's something I like it sometimes. I appreciate the work, as you said, but maybe it's too much. And you know, melody it's something that it's really I cannot be without melody. It's difficult for me not listening songs without at least a bit of melody.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to listen to Beyonce or Lady Gaga, you know, sometimes.
It's an element of, if you write pop, admit it's pop.
Yes, pop, really pop. Also, Beyonce, in my opinion, with Christina Aguilera and Mariah Carey, are some of the best singers ever. You know, Whitney Houston. There are many, and frequently I learned some songs of them to, you know, discover some different ways of singing. I know that it's difficult to imagine me singing Beyonce, but I did it.
It's not that difficult to imagine, because I have seen other metal musicians practice pop songs just because they're good practice, and I understand that.
That's it.
And since I started paying more attention to vocals and to details in music, I fully understand pop singers are insanely skilled.
Yes.
It's not music I like to listen to. I very rarely listen to pop, and it's only a few specific things.
Yes.
But yeah, I have great respect for pop musicians.
No, I agree. And I'm very happy that I am lucky enough not to have to dance on stage.
Oh my God, because it's already a workout to have to control your breath when singing.
Yes. It's not possible, you know, to do also like this all the time. So thank God I like metal.
Yeah. We're already getting close to the second meeting. This went longer than planned, so I really, really appreciate it.
No, I was into the conversation. So, you know, 40 minutes, it's a really small amount of time. So I'm really happy we had it twice, and we will do this also for the next times. Definitely. It has been a pleasure.
There's always more things I want to talk to you about. So we're definitely gonna do this again.
Yes.
Looking forward. It's awesome meeting you. You're an awesome human. You're a fantastic singer.
Thank you. Same for you. I'm really happy I have a new friend now.
Same for me. I'm a fantastic singer. Let's go.
And also a fantastic singer.
I mean, I can scream a bit. I don't know what I'm doing, but I can scream a bit.
Wow. That's good.
I did a Shadow of Intent karaoke once.
Wow. Oh, nice. So thank you really much. It has been a pleasure having a coffee with you, and we will meet again soon, definitely. Thank you, man. See you soon.
Thanks for the hang. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.